All right, here we are, gathered, the three of us together as three cats, Mahara Cat, Bethesda Cat, and Rosie Cat. We're here for episode, what is it, Mahara Cat? I've lost track. We've done so many. Anyway, we're here to do an episode on censorship, and we feel that the three of us, independently in our sovereign ways, have different things to offer. So we're going to talk about that today, and I have a feeling maybe civil rights will come up, our liberties, maybe the question, who owns your body, will be involved. And in any case, we're here to offer our co-joined, mind-felt and heartfelt understanding and experiences of this word called censorship. So Mahara Cat, brrr, that's like the drum roll to you.
Okay, well, censorship, it's a very, very potent topic right now. I think we're all feeling it, at least those of us that have ideas that may be different to the narrative of the mainstream news, whether it be CNN or NPR, whether it be the New York Times or the Washington Post or Harper's Magazine or Mother Jones. If we notice, they are all on the same drum roll. They're all saying the same thing. And yet there's a huge segment of us that are saying something. We're perceiving reality very differently. And when I was thinking about this, I decided to check out online various quotes about censorship. And it's amazing. We could do like a whole hour just reading quotes from George Orwell's 1984, for example. So I'll start with one. Censorship is the child of fear and the father of ignorance. Actually, that's not from George Orwell. That's Laurie Halse Anderson, author of Speak and Chains. So the child of fear and the father of ignorance. And what is it that is feared? I believe that the censors, the people who do the censoring, fear the truth because the truth would erode their power. Now, who's doing the censorship now? You know, it always used to be, quote, the government. It's not the government now, it's all changed. It is the mostly big tech. So we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google, YouTube, all basically owned by the same people, all censoring information. So they are the new rulers of humanity at the moment. They are huge global international corporations, which, so by the definition of fascism, we are right now experiencing full-on fascism, which is ruled by corporations. And what is it they're so scared of? As I said, if the truth comes out about them and what they've been doing and what their agenda is, they will fail in their agenda. And the truth is coming out. Like right now, we have two words, I'd say, that are forbidden. The most censored topics are the V word, which has to do with injectables, new kinds of injectables, and the how shall I say, a difference of opinion over the election results. Those two things, and I have to say them in a different way because of censorship. I can't just say the full V word. I can't say the differing opinion about the election because it's going to get censored. So, and we have direct experience of censorship on our channel. The one interview that I did with Anna Garner about the V word got taken down within a couple of hours by YouTube. My Twitter account got taken down for no reason. I have no idea. I was just told that I was violating community guidelines. Well, nobody knows what the community guidelines even are, and you cannot question it. So the second part of censorship I wanted to just mention is self-censorship. And it's the most insidious form of censorship. And it comes out of politically correct speech. So there are so many things now, this political correctness that's been coming in over the last years, maybe decade or more, are the things that we're allowed, what are politically correct ways of saying things, which basically makes us censor ourselves, because if we say it, quote, the wrong way, maybe our friends won't like us, or we'll get criticized for being a ... because we said what we said in a politically incorrect way. And to address that, there is an amazing quote from George Orwell. I highly recommend everyone read 1984 again. I read it when I was about 20, and I'll read it again myself probably, because it is exactly applicable to what we are going through now. So this quote from George Orwell: political writing in our time consists almost entirely of prefabricated phrases bolted together like pieces of a child's Meccano set. It is the unavoidable result of self-censorship. To write in plain, vigorous language, one has to think fearlessly. And if one thinks fearlessly, one cannot be politically orthodox. So I will hand it over to Rosie Cat with what your thoughts are.
Well, thank you for that. I learned a lot, as always. I was very appreciative of hearing who is doing censorship. I actually looked up censorship on our wonderful computer, and the Wikipedia censorship description or definition is that censorship is for the purpose of suppressing parts deemed objectionable on moral, political, military, or other grounds. A censor is one who supervises the manners or moralities of others, and suppression is the act of preventing something from being exposed or known. So I think perhaps for most of our listeners, they understand that the three of us have done a vast amount of research inside and out on this topic for almost a year now. And it goes without saying that I clearly and confidently stand where I stand on the issues that that we are censored about currently. Research, by the way, I looked that up too, is the diligent or systematic inquiry or investigation into a subject in order to discover or revise facts, theories, or applications. Yeah, that's very, very good. So when I was thinking about this situation of censorship in relationship to myself and the community in which I'm living in, which is Santa Fe, New Mexico, I really felt the energy of suppression. and oppression. That if you were to, if I were to go out in the community, what I would notice currently is that people have withdrawn to a large degree, except for the people who must show up at work, like at food stores. Thank God for them. But this is what happens under under the influence of censorship, is it creates in people feelings of apathy, anxiety, fear, and suppression and oppression. And all those energies are very low frequency. So I know for myself, I have quite a bit of anxiety when I pull it together to go out into the community to do my shopping per se, because in large part, now I'm having to deal with the businesses and the people that I'm shopping next to in those businesses who may censor me in some way, shape, or form, because I am, even though I'm obliging for the most part, I have my days of confrontation, but I'm still obliging. But there must be an energy field around me in which it seems that I'm more open to confrontation. And this is what happens. And that's why I have anxiety and even anger. That's something that's also coming up. So in essence, what I'm feeling is that as a community, and in your community, and as you as an individual, maybe perhaps, this is an experiment, but maybe perhaps when we go out into our community, we do an exercise or two before we leave the house. Like I do punching with angry eyes. It's a very powerful, I don't know, I learned it back in massage school in the 1980s. It's a very powerful way of releasing my anger and my anxiety. So I do that before I leave the house. I go out in the community, and then the challenge for me becomes, can I enter into my field, enter into my community where my clan is, where my tribe is, where my group of people are living, whether I know them or not, and greet them in a very healthy, boundaried way, meaning I will only accept so much veracity, so much accusation, so much accosting. In fact, I'm really becoming intolerant of that. But my challenge is, can I offer energies of respect and loving kindness and compassion for those who are out there dealing with this very unnerving, uncertain situation? Sure, some of us, I would say, really know what the F is going on, and it's not too pretty. And so we want to wake other people up. We want them to get it. We want them to stand up for their rights. Come on, stand up for your rights. In the meantime, they're feeling, this is my intuition, very afraid, very fearful. Remember, fear is false evidence appearing real. See if you can transform it into face everything and rise. It's like, if we can transform this energy that we're currently experiencing of suppression and of censorship, I believe that we can evolve. Suppression means that you cannot progress. So when we offer each other more the space of freedom and liberation, we can breathe, even with those stupid, crazy things on our faces, those, whatever they call them, diapers. Somebody's calling them diapers. Some people really feel that is protecting them. And I want to say, fine, go ahead and wear yours. But I should be allowed to, based on the information that I have researched diligently for 11 months. I'm not saying that you know that, but please trust me that I am not here to create harm for you. I'm not here to create harm for you. We're in this together. Let's find a way. We're going to create a way. And by taking back your rights, stand up for your rights, like Bob Marley said, stand up for your rights. He really meant it. Take back your creativity, your beauty, your expression. Even if for now you just do it at home with crayons and crazy dancing music, do it. Do it, do it, do it. I think if we start to ignite that feeling of creativity within each one of ourselves. We'll regain a lot of our self-value and self-respect, and we'll be able to greet others in that way. So it's time to shuck the judgment. It's like, we got to shuck the judgment. I could go on, but that's all I'm going to say, because Maharakat gave me the 5-minute notice. And I'm trying to oblige and not be bad. So Bethesda Cat, with everything I've said, what do you have to say?
Well, thank you both. You were very inspirational. I wanted to say a couple of things, and inspired by both of you as well as my own research. Speaking is our expression of God, of who we are on the deepest part of it's like our soul. And when we speak, we create, and our voice is like the voice of God, and we each have our own voice and our own, we're receiving God or goddess, whatever you want to call your higher power, in your own way. But speaking is such an act of spirituality and creativity that to have it suppressed on so many levels. I mean, we have the mask, and then you have the Facebook censors and the Instagram censors, and then there's other levels. There's the shame that we are collectively potentially suppressing the God on the planet, which is within every single one of us. And as we speak and we create, we are evolving and being and bringing God onto the planet. So it's not only a suppression of our words, it's the energy behind that is so vital for humanity on the planet right now, or at any time on the planet, is the expression of your God self or your goddess. And it's often, it can be energy from your heart, but it's also what we speak. So that was the first thing I was thinking of, and I was been focused on other aspects of censorship as well. And one of them was very disturbing to me, but is very powerful for those aspects of society that are trying to repress us, is the arrests that we're seeing of our freedom of speech leaders. Brandon Straka, the leader of the walkaway movement, he's a gay activist who created this huge movement. It was really one of self-expression. There was hundreds of thousands, maybe, Mahara, of the walkaway videos. It was such an amazing platform for people to voice their opposition to hate. Now, to see him, visually hear about it arrested by the FBI is a very, unfortunately, powerful way to make the people who follow him, who love him, start to question their own authenticity and their own safety. I could have easily, any one of us could have easily been at the Capitol with Brandon or any of them. And my feeling is, and I watched the video, he wasn't inciting, they're all being, they're saying that this one incited and that one incited, and the evidence has come out that it was primarily not the Trump voters. But the other one is Dr. Simon Gold, who was part of the doctors, the frontline doctors, who has done amazing 70 doctors that met on the steps of the Capitol. And they did this incredible investigation into the COVID and the V word. And they presented the facts and just life-saving information. She was arrested recently by the FBI. Coy Griffin, who was the leader of the Cowboys for Trump in Santa Fe, was a local leader here, arrested by the FBI. So I'm sure they did this in Nazi Germany. They've done it in many other forms of dictatorship. If you take out the leaders, the people you love, you admire, you follow, that is an extreme form of censorship, because we take that in. It's like, that could happen to us. We better not do that. We better be quiet. We better pull back. So that was one of the aspects of censorship I was thinking about lately that is very powerful as far as shutting people down. It's about context. If we say it, it's censored. If they say it in their idea of the correct context and they're able to narrate it, that's another form of manipulation and censorship. So that's something to be very careful of. Also, Time came out and basically admitted that the election had been stolen, and they allowed that because of the framework of how Time presented it, that it had been done to save humanity. So, but if we say the election is stolen, and I'm not saying it, I'm just saying if we said it, we would be censored, it would be taken down. So they're using another ploy, which is context, and they hold the narrative for that.
I love what you both contributed to this conversation, and as we can see, censorship is the tool of tyrants. And our country was founded in 1776 with a constitution by a group of men who understood tyranny better than any of us now can really comprehend, although we're starting to see again what it looks like. So there's a reason that the First Amendment is the First Amendment. It is the most important for maintaining a free, open society. That ability to speak our ideas, even if they offend someone, God forbid. Everyone's offended by something at some time. And labeling something that is offensive to one small group of people as hate speech is one of the insidious ways that these tyrants, these basically globalist tech tyrants, have coerced us into these little boxes. But I do believe that this heavy-handedness that we're seeing now is going to backfire bigly, to coin a phrase, and it is waking people up in droves. So maybe you haven't been censored yet, but if things keep going the way they are, you will be. And I just wanted to bring in a young man who led a very short life, Aaron Swartz. He was a young brilliant tech guy. He was the founder of Reddit, and he hacked into MIT and downloaded some scientific papers that should have been public knowledge, but they were being kept secret. He was arrested, imprisoned, and he eventually, he died of suicide, they say. But there are many who believe that it wasn't suicide and that he was murdered. Murder, assassination being the ultimate censorship. His voice was silenced forever. But they cannot keep silencing the truth. And one of the people that believes that he wasn't murdered was another victim of censorship, Julian Assange, who has committed no crime but exposing the truth. So he says, and I quote, "I am not convinced that Aaron Swartz was such a coward he committed suicide due to fear of prison. Read his words and decide for yourself, but I believe Swartz was murdered by a team of copyright assassins who made it all look like a simple suicide. Watch what you say, or you may end up like Aaron Swartz." So here is something that Aaron Swartz said. "Information is power, but like all power, there are those who want to keep it for themselves. It's time to come into the light and, in the grand tradition of civil disobedience, declare our opposition to this private theft of public culture. with enough of us around the world, will not just send a strong message opposing the privatization of knowledge, will make it a thing of the past. Will you join us? Aaron Schwartz. Now, Aaron gave that, said that in a speech he gave in 2008. He was murdered in 2013, or suicided, we might say. But the truth cannot be suppressed forever. Truth is way more powerful than lies, and I believe that the censorship we're seeing is going to push us into this amazing speaking of truth, revealing of truth that like we've never seen before. There's a reason this time is called by many the Great Awakening, and it's starting to amp up. So hold on to your hats, everyone, because huge truth bombs are going to be dropping like we've never seen before. And some of us know what's coming, at least have some idea of what's coming. And there are many who have no idea at all.
The truth coming out is going to be shocking for many, but it is a necessary shock for humanity to awaken and for us to reclaim our sovereignty as beings of light and as sons and daughters of God, capable of creating the world we choose beyond what right now we may even be able to imagine. So hold on to your hats, everyone. It's going to be a great ride, and one thing I would advise is if you are still listening to mainstream media or watching it or reading it, pull your head out. You will be able to discern truth so much better. Give it a try, and I hope you enjoyed our conversation and will join us for the next conversation, whatever it may be.